Hi, I'm Jana, here to talk about working with extremely difficult client populations. In my experience over 20 years, I've tried a number of approaches, and most latterly, over the last 4, found one that yields better results, for myself as well as for the client. Meaning that I'm able to stay in treatment as much as she is, that I'm able to maintain my equilibrium, and that she is safe, growing and changing. Ironically, the way to do this has been to radically accept what I cannot change and to interrogate my own control issues. If you have a client with BPD, you will know it when you look in your diary. There'll be a lineup of 5 people, and one may inspire you with dread. I choose these words carefully because fear is the watchdog that stands just before innovation, breakthrough, risk, and change. This is not to say that your sessions are unpleasant, but fear is what your borderline client is grappling with, and so you will too. Fear of the past, that what has happened will happen again, and fear of the unknown. Why should I trust you, this or anything? Fear that nothing can change, that this suffering is a life sentence. How does this arrive in your practice room, and what will you do with it? In the first part of this talk, I will look at the problem as it lands on your doorstep. Then we will look at the wiring under the floorboard, so to speak, what's really going on. Then the new solution I am offering. I'll end with a note about what this requires of you, and lastly, where to get help, more help. Firstly, the problem, therapeutic impasses, dilemmas, and pitfalls. Starting therapy with your borderline client can feel really nice. It's like a honeymoon, as she forms a strong attachment to you. I'm going to use the female pronoun for ease. It goes without saying that personality disorder occurs across sexes. When a client with BPD comes to us in practice, the initial connection feels good. You enjoy the idealization of being the one therapist who can help her as none of the others could. Hopefully, you will see the red flags fluttering in the wind right there. But I don't wish to be facetious here, because what is happening is true connection indeed. We have tremendous potential for human emotional connection with others. Colwyn Trevathan, researching infancy at Edinburgh University in the 60s, demonstrated that babies are born with the capacity and the intention to make meaningful connections with their caregivers, and that these connections are made through purposeful, musical body movements generated by the lower part of their brains and not their thinking brains. We come into this world expecting to be a subject among subjects and readily interact with our environment, both natural and social. Borderlines have experienced massive traumatic disruptions in early connection, so there is much hope in this initial contact with the therapist. Hope that you will finally be what the client has longed for all her life. And in a way you will be, but also not in the way that you might think. As therapy continues, you start to experience the terrible ups and downs that she does, what the DSM-5 refers to as a pervasive pattern of instability of interpersonal relationships, self-image and affects, and marked impulsivity, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts. Her inability to hold on to what is good, even you, her wish to destroy it. Resistance, her shadow side, the death instinct, call it what you will. All of this, ironically, stemming from her frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. It's essential to retain your serenity as a practitioner and a person, not necessarily in that order, otherwise you will reenact the abandonment this client has suffered. She will be begging you to do so. Unconsciously, she'll be maneuvering you into doing it. She will instate you as her savior. She will cross boundaries with you. She will present in crisis. She will struggle to stand up for herself in her life and hope you will pick up the pieces of how that feels. She will want more from you, and you will never be enough. She wants to be your friend, your lover, your co-worker. She wants to die. She will be intensely angry at you and at times may devalue you. All these awful things, which at the same time are so normal and understandable, when you're in session at least. Sessions are fine, you've been trained to be present. Outside of them, you feel the burden. You want to run. Let's face it, your life would be easier without this.